It all started on an ordinary morning in a small village that lay quietly between rolling hills and meandering streams. Life in the village moved slowly, predictably, and without excitement. The villagers had grown accustomed to their routines, the same faces, the same markets, and the same gossip. Yet, beneath this calm exterior, a sense of stagnation lingered. Dreams were often buried under the weight of tradition, and opportunities were few and far between. Among the villagers was a young girl named Aisha. She was unlike most of her peers, not because of her beauty or charm, which she had plenty of, but because of the fire in her heart and the sharpness of her mind. Aisha had always been curious, always asking questions that others were afraid to even consider. Where others saw walls and rules, she saw challenges waiting to be solved. But in a village where conformity was valued more than courage, she often felt isolated. One morning, a seemingly insignificant event set the wheels of change in motion. Aisha was walking through the narrow streets of her village when she noticed a group of children struggling to cross a broken bridge. The wooden planks were rotting, and the river beneath roared with every movement of the wind. Most villagers had ignored this bridge for years, thinking it was someone else's problem to fix. Yet, Aisha could not. Without hesitation, she ran to the village carpenter and proposed an idea to repair the bridge using her small savings and borrowed materials. At first, the carpenter laughed. "A young girl like you, trying to fix something this big? You're dreaming," he said. But Aisha's determination was unshakable. She spent the next few days convincing him, explaining the safety risks, and showing how even small efforts could make a huge difference. The carpenter, reluctantly impressed, agreed to help her. Soon, other villagers joined in. Men brought tools, women brought food and water, and even the children contributed by carrying small planks. By the end of the week, the bridge was no longer a dangerous obstacle but a sturdy passage connecting the two halves of the village. What seemed like a small act of kindness and responsibility became a turning point for the entire community. People started to notice Aisha, not just for her initiative, but for her courage to act when no one else would. They began to realize that change did not always come from authority or tradition but from those brave enough to take the first step. Encouraged by this small victory, Aisha's influence in the village grew. She began to address bigger issues, ones that had been ignored for generations. She noticed that the village well, which was the main source of water, was poorly maintained. The water often became contaminated during the rainy season, causing illness among the children. Again, Aisha took action. She organized a cleanup campaign, teaching villagers how to filter water and maintain the well. She collaborated with a local school teacher to educate children about hygiene. Slowly but surely, the frequency of illness decreased, and the villagers' confidence in themselves and their abilities grew. But her most remarkable impact came during a harsh winter when a serious crisis struck. A landslide blocked the only road leading to the nearby town, cutting off the village from essential supplies. Food, medicine, and fuel began to run low. Panic spread among the villagers, who had grown used to waiting for government help that was often delayed. Many felt hopeless, resigned to the fact that they would have to endure the hardship. Aisha, however, saw this as an opportunity to unite her community. She devised a plan to use the river to transport supplies in small boats. At first, the villagers were skeptical. The river was dangerous, and the plan seemed too ambitious. But Aisha's calm confidence and clear instructions won them over. Villagers worked together day and night, using ropes, makeshift rafts, and nets to carry food and medicine across the river. Slowly, the supplies reached the village, and disaster was averted. By now, Aisha's reputation had grown beyond the village. Nearby towns and media outlets started to take notice of this young girl who had transformed a small, struggling community into a model of self-reliance and cooperation. Interviews, articles, and local television features highlighted her story, inspiring countless others to take action in their own towns and villages. Aisha, however, remained humble. She never sought fame or recognition. For her, the true reward was seeing her neighbors work together, helping one another, and believing in their own potential. But what truly made her story extraordinary was what came next. Inspired by Aisha, the villagers began to think creatively about their own future. They started small businesses, repaired neglected farmland, and developed local crafts to sell in nearby markets. Young girls, who had once been discouraged from pursuing education, now attended school with pride. Boys who had considered leaving the village in search of work found new opportunities close to home. A sense of hope, long dormant, had been awakened by a single girl's courage and vision. As months turned into years, Aisha's impact became even more profound. The village that had once been overlooked and forgotten became a shining example of resilience and community spirit. Government officials began to visit, not to provide aid, but to study how the villagers had achieved such remarkable progress on their own. Scholars, journalists, and activists came to learn from their model of self-empowerment. And at the center of it all was Aisha, the girl whose actions, seemingly small at first, had sparked a transformation that no one had thought possible. Even those who had doubted her initially became her strongest supporters. The carpenter who had first laughed at her bridge idea admitted publicly that Aisha had taught him the true meaning of leadership. The village elders, who had once resisted change, praised her for showing them that innovation and tradition could coexist. And the children who had helped carry the planks now looked up to her as a role model, inspired to believe that they too could make a difference, no matter their age. What makes Aisha's story so remarkable is not just her intelligence or courage, but her understanding of human nature. She knew that lasting change could not be imposed, it had to grow from within. She empowered people, encouraged teamwork, and built confidence in each individual's abilities. By doing so, she created a ripple effect that transformed the mindset of an entire community. Her story is a powerful reminder that one person's actions can indeed change the course of history. In a world where people often feel powerless or overwhelmed, Aisha's journey shows that courage, vision, and determination are contagious. Even in the face of skepticism and adversity, a single act of initiative can inspire countless others to rise above their limitations and contribute to something greater than themselves. And so, the village thrived, not because of external aid or luck, but because of the choices of one remarkable girl. Aisha's movement continues to grow, inspiring other villages across the region. Workshops and community programs were modeled after her approach, teaching people that change begins at the grassroots level. Today, the village that was once ordinary has become a beacon of hope and resilience, proving that even in the smallest corners of the world, greatness can emerge when courage meets opportunity. Aisha's story is not just about a bridge, a well, or even a landslide. It is about the power of human initiative, the importance of believing in oneself, and the extraordinary results that come when ordinary people work together for a common purpose. The lesson is simple but profound. No matter your age, your background, or the challenges you face, you have the power to change the world around you. All it takes is one step, one idea, and the courage to act. In the end, the village's transformation was complete, not because of wealth or influence, but because of hope, action, and the unwavering belief of one girl who refused to accept the status quo. Her name, Aisha, is now spoken with respect and admiration, a symbol of what determination and courage can achieve. And while the story may have started with a simple act of fixing a bridge, it became a testament to the idea that one person's movement can ignite a revolution of the heart, mind, and spirit. And perhaps the most important lesson of all is that greatness does not always arrive with fanfare or expectation. Sometimes, it quietly begins with a single individual choosing to act differently, to care more deeply, and to lead with conviction. Aisha's story is proof that even the smallest actions, when driven by courage and compassion, can change the destiny of an entire community. It is a story that will be remembered for generations, a story that teaches us that within every person lies the potential to alter the course of history, if only they dare to act.